Imagine a sickness, not a fever, not a plague of the lungs, but a phantom that seizes your limbs and forces you to move, an invisible puppeteer pulling strings you can't see, making you dance and dance until your heart gives out. This isn't fiction. This is the true, terrifying story of the dancing plague of 1518. It began on a hot July day in the city of Strasbourg. A woman, known to history as Frau Troffer, stepped out of her home and into the dusty street, and she began to dance. There was no music, no festival, just a lone woman, jerking and twirling under the summer sun. Her husband begged her to stop. Neighbors stared, bewildered, but she couldn't. Her face was a mask of agony, her body a prisoner to a silent, relentless rhythm. For 6 days, she danced, barely stopping for sleep or water, her shoes soaked in blood. By the end of the week, she was not alone. The phantom had spread. 34 others had joined her, their bodies taken over by the same frantic, involuntary movements. Within a month, the number swelled to 400. The streets of Strasbourg were no longer a place of commerce, but a stage for a macabre, silent carnival. The city's leaders were baffled. Physicians, citing their ancient Greek theories, declared it was not a curse, but a case of hot blood, and they made a decision that would turn a crisis into a catastrophe. Their fatal diagnosis concluded that the cure was not rest, but more dancing. To save the afflicted, they believed, the fever had to be danced out, so they cleared a public space. They constructed a massive wooden stage, and they even hired musicians to play pipes and drums, encouraging the dancers on. They turned a nightmare into a public spectacle. The city's misguided attempt at a cure became fuel for the fire. The relentless beat of the drums drove the dancers harder, pushing their exhausted bodies far beyond their limits. The scene was a vision from hell. Hundreds of people, their clothes tattered and their eyes wide with terror, danced uncontrollably. This wasn't a celebration. It was a mass seizure set to music. Under the blistering August sun, people began to drop. One by one, their bodies gave out. They collapsed from strokes, from heart attacks, from sheer, agonizing exhaustion. At the plague's peak, it said that up to 15 people were dying every single day. The stage built to heal them had become their tomb. Realizing their catastrophic error, the panicked authorities reversed course. The music was stopped. The stage was torn down. Desperate, they turned from science to superstition. They gathered the remaining dancers, many of whom had to be carried, and sent them on a forced pilgrimage to a mountain shrine, hoping prayer could succeed where medicine had failed. And then, as mysteriously as it began, the phantom receded, the dancing slowed, and finally, it stopped. The survivors collapsed, their bodies broken, their minds scarred. So what caused this waking nightmare? For centuries, people blamed a curse. Some modern scientists point to ergot, a toxic mold that grows on rye bread, which can cause severe muscle spasms. But many historians believe the truth is something far more unsettling. Mass hysteria. The people of Strasbourg were suffering under extreme famine, poverty, and disease. Their minds, pushed to the absolute breaking point, simply snapped. They were broken by reality, and so they danced. It wasn't a poison in their bread, but a poison of despair in their souls, a shared psychological trauma that erupted into a terrifying physical plague. And that is the most chilling thought of all, that the walls of our own minds are more fragile than we think, that under the right pressure, the puppeteer that could make us dance to our deaths is us.